Oh, hey, what's up, Facebook? This is the old Angry Hobo channel with your host, the Angry Hobo. Yeah, so I've been, trying to keep up to speed with all the latest over here. And a couple things. So I've been watching these cheesy videos, kind of like this cheesy video, and about, there's one thing. So because I'm new to all this video stuff, I think that there's a good chance that a lot of my videos could get fucked with and stuff, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just a hobo here, you know. So maybe if I say the wrong cuss word or something, I don't know. I don't get the rules. I haven't read the rules. So anyway, I have a feeling that there's a chance that my videos could get taken down or something. But I don't know. I guess my thing would be like most of the other people whose videos are getting taken down, that they're not really sure what it is that they said or did to get their videos taken down. Okay, so just to clarify that. And then also, because I guess there's all this tension going on between the left and the right, which I am neither. I guess, somebody could say the wrong thing and end up on somebody's shit list, which I'm probably already on some kind of government shit list for being a radical of some sort. Probably I'm a leftist, you know, I'm a far leftist. And that's because I'm a hardcore hobo advocate. So I guess to the right, people on the right, that's one of these crazy social justice warriors, you know. Because I advocate for the hobos, I'm some crazy social justice warrior. Well, the problem with that, though, is that I don't agree with any of the social justice movements, and so I'm probably getting doxxed by these fucking Antifa people that I'm a fucking extreme, or on the extreme other, you know, a far right or something. So I don't know. I'm pretty much fucked, and because I'm a hobo, I don't have any guns. I don't really necessarily have an interest in guns. I guess if I could have a gun, I wouldn't mind having one, but I'm not going out of my way to get one or anything, you know. Yeah, so so anyways, so hey, all you Antifas, man, I don't care what here, my thing with Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff is this: once you guys start advocating for the hobos, then you've got an ally right here. Angry Hobos, your number one ally. If you're advocating for the hobos, I'm down. Let's do it. Give me one of them guns, boy. But I haven't seen that at all. Not at all. Oh, they'll say, yeah, well, we did this event one time. Well, that doesn't count, because I'm just watching what's on YouTube and what's in the news, and you know, the main coverage, and everything you guys say, none of it ever has anything to do with classism, class supremacy, economic inequality, none of it. And in the very little bit of time that it does, it only addresses economic inequality for black people. Do your research, man. Martin Luther King was never like, when he started the Poor People's Campaign, which is why he was fucking assassinated. It wasn't just for black people. Do your fucking research, man. He invited the poor poor whites from the Appalachians. He invited anybody that was suffering from poverty, was invited to participate in the Poor People's Campaign. No organization, Black Lives Matter, the transgender movement, the feminism movement, and the Antifa movement, none of them are even touching the topic at all. Nobody has since Martin Luther King, and So I'm not even gonna go into it. I'm not gonna fucking teach you something that you should already know, especially if you're involved in social justice. Educate yourself on the poor people's fucking campaign. Anyways, so because none of these social justice movements are saying anything about poor people or homelessness, even though this country has the highest homeless rate in the world, I'm not fucking down with you, man. I don't care, man. Step up, man. Start fucking, addressing the real issue, which is class supremacy. You won't, because it's all about money, man. Money, money, money. So anyway, because I express these views, I'm gonna get doxxed by Antifa, and then also because I express my views of advocating for hobos, I'm gonna get doxxed by, the right for being some crazy social justice warrior. You can't win, man. Hobos never have been able to win. We never win. We're always the loser no matter what, man. So that's one thing that the far right and the far left have in common, is they're both anti-hobo. The far left just conveniently ignores the issue of hobos and economic inequality, while the far right tends to ignore, but not as much as the left, but they definitely ignore it almost as much as the left. Only when the right does address it, they just talk about it as if, class mobility exists, therefore hobos, they can navigate the class mobility and move themselves up if they just work hard, or work harder. Because that's hobo, just surviving from one night to the next as a hobo isn't work at all. No. And hobos aren't oppressed. No, they're not. No, especially if they're white. The white ones definitely aren't oppressed, Maybe the black ones are. I don't know. You have to ask Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I don't know. They all just split hairs anyways. If you're white, it doesn't matter. You're a piece of shit, I guess. I don't know. I can't figure any of this out. But, so I just want to make those things clarify some shit there, And one other thing, I've been doing a little bit of research. I'm not a workaholic like most of you people seemingly are, believe in this workaholic like philosophy of just work yourself to death and then become retired and bored and just die of boredom. That's fucking whatever your workaholic philosophy there. But the bit of research that I have done on, it's funny because really, especially with hobos, we're faced with only very few choices, and really what I have come to is like a fork in the road, man. There's really only two choices. You can either believe in class mobility and believe that all these social justice movements care about you hobos, when in reality, if you look at it, they really don't. They don't give a fuck about hobos. They never have, they never will, not since Martin Luther King. So fork in the road. A hobo can continue to believe that there is some kind of hope in America, class mobility, believe in the, which is more believable, class mobility or Jesus? That's really what it boils down to. I'm not a big fan of religion or even spirituality. I'm not real big on it. I've been really struggling with spirituality, and I've gone through a lot of different investigating a lot of different stuff, but most of it's either trendy and hip type spirituality or it's uncool, unhip spirituality. So the hip spirituality is Buddhism is still kind of hipster, hip, cool. What else? Atheism's kind of is one of the cool things. Gnosticism is the cool thing if you know about it. Most people don't even know what Gnosticism is. Agnostic is still pretty cool, it's you're not going to get labeled a fucking whatever if you're an agnostic, which I probably have a lot of agnosticism in me. But I've researched all this shit, Gnosticism, and I've Buddhism, fucking blah blah blah, atheism, all this shit. I've looked into as much of it as I can. The occult, Wiccan, I got mostly involved in Wiccan more than any of the others, because for me, I'm one of those people that I need spirituality. I have to, because I have issues. Some people, I guess you call them normies, they don't necessarily need spirituality. They can kind of function and get through without. But I'm not a normie, so I have special needs, you might say. And spirituality is like kind of important. It's like I can't really survive. Like, I'm barely surviving right now, um, but I'll die without it. So it's kind of like it's more of a survival thing, self-preservation, spirituality. Uh, but I enjoy it. It's like trippy. It's hella cool. Um, Anyways, my digression continues. So as I continue to digress here, talking about yeah, spirituality. Anyways, and I got really into Wicca, and then I don't know. There was something about Wiccan though. Um, I guess there's a lot of work for one thing, because every couple months there's some kind of ritual thing, which I like the rituals, and I think rituals are important personally. Um, but it was just a lot of work, you know. And of all the philosophies, um, workaholism, I'm totally anti-workaholism, because all that is, it's just brainwashes people into slavery, you know. All the elite are trying to convince and everyone below them that work, what was emblazoned on the gates of Auschwitz was work will set you free. Work will set you free. That's kind of the messaging that we hear today all the time. Work will set you free. Freedom's not free. And all this shit. Yeah, that's what the elite like to tell everyone else. Work will set you free. It's a fucking workaholic philosophy. It's brainwash. Um, so anyway, I'm not going to go into a big fucking tirade on that. Research it yourself, look it up. Look it up. Um, but anyways, yeah, so Wicca was kind of started to become a lot of work. And I think I watched this other video. I'm not going to say who, but I almost want to like refer this guy. Actually, okay, yeah, Styx Hexenhammer 666. I mean, I watched this one video where he explained how he was involved in Satanism, and he actually used it to purge a lot of guilt and fear and shame. And that's kind of what Wicca did for me. I needed to purge that. I had some serious need to do that. And once I got through that, it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess I just felt like I didn't really need, that I could kind of explore other things. So it served its purpose for me. But then I started getting into all this alien shit and fucking alien UFO, Illuminati, and all that stuff, and it's super fucking entertaining, way more entertaining than Netflix or mainstream media. Fucking mainstream media is so lame. I just watched a couple trailers on fucking what's that new fucking The Justice League? God, that looks so fucking pathetic. I just can't believe people eat that shit up. What's another one? Just these pathetic fucking idiot anyways, so I started really getting into the alien, the UFOs and fucking, and then you start going down that rabbit hole, and then they start talking about Nephilim and fucking Days of Noah and all that. It's fucking amazing stories. So I started piquing my interest in Christianity a little bit, because I was like, wow, I never heard this story about angels fucking women and having giant babies and fucking, fusing genetics to create centaurs and minotaurs and all that. It's like, wow, dude, if they made a movie about that and they did it right, man, they would fucking kill it's just it really is. I believe it's the greatest story that has ever been told to me, So, and, I've heard some stories, but anyway, further digressing I go. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so anyways, all that UFO and shit and the fucking Nephilim and everything, it started kind of piquing my interest in Christianity. And I've always been interested in Christianity to a degree. Like, I especially like the nihilistic shit, like vanities, all his vanities. I mean, that's like depressing as fuck, you know, like that dude, was it Solomon or whoever, you know, richest dude, had everything and came to realize it, you know, nearing the end portion of his life, that like life is just meaningless. It's all just fucking meaningless bullshit. I mean, I love that. It's fucking amazing, man. You know, because it's true, dude. I mean, to me, shit, man, there's so much bullshit. There's like nothing that's even worth fucking pursuing at all. What, money? Let's just pursue money and fucking materialism. If that's your thing, I mean, I'm not gonna judge you, but don't fucking judge me, because I don't give a fuck about it. I think it's a fucking joke. You know, to each his own, man. As long as you're not fucking with me or my hobo family, then do whatever the fuck you want, man. I don't care. But, and that's another thing that really piqued my interest about the Bible, is it's like, you know, Jesus flipping the fucking money tables and all that shit. And then the whole thing of what is it? It says, it is easier for a rich man or it's easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And then the more research I did, I mean, and again, I'm an underachiever, so I'm not doing a bunch of reading and shit, but dude, like, I realized the Bible advocates for the hobos more than any other philosophy. I challenge you to try to present to me any other fucking type of religion or spiritual philosophy that advocates for hobos as much as fucking the Bible does. So I'm sorry, man. Any hobo that actually comes across this information for themselves and accidentally discovers it like I did, they're going to come to the same conclusion as me. Basically, what the fork in the road that you'll approach as a hobo if you come across this information is, okay, so I can believe this bullshit story of class mobility that fucking it doesn't exist. I mean, I'm 43 fucking years old. I spent my entire fucking life believing this bullshit story of class mobility. It doesn't exist, and I'm not saying this to complain. I'm just saying this because it's the truth, man. You know, if you had a somewhat supportive family and friends and shit like this, then maybe class mobility exists for you. Well, good fucking for you, man. Kumbaya. You know, there's like a whole community and population of people that don't have fucking parents, or if they do, there's no support system or safety net for them. Like, what about them? You think just because you have class mobility that this one size fits all mentality that it just applies to everybody? You know, fucking pull your fucking head out of your ass, man. There's people that don't have any supports. They're born into homelessness and poverty. They don't have any support system whatsoever, and maybe one in fucking like however many thousands of those people might you know, ascend the class mobility system and navigate it. But I mean, where do you hear about them? On the news? I mean, come on, man. That's like Allen Iverson. Oh yeah, you expect me to believe because the news told me that Allen Iverson grew up in homelessness and poverty, and then he just, through sheer self-sufficiency, he pulled himself up in rank through the fucking class, you know. I mean, if you want to believe that, then, you know, whatever. I don't believe in any of that shit. It's all fucking bullshit, man. There are two Americas, just like Martin Luther King said. One is socialist, where people have they've got all the resources and their support system and safety net, and they can just experiment with class mobility, and if they fall, whoever will come and save them. And then you have the other America, where there is no class mobility. When a motherfucker falls, they gotta pick their own ass up. You know, and all these people that think they're hella self-sufficient and shit and independent. I'm so independent. Yeah, let's take a magnifying glass to your supposed self-sufficiency and independence. How did you get to become this so-called self-sufficient, independent person? Well, so you had parents that supported you, and that when you needed help, they helped you. And wow, there's a big difference between that and having nobody at all. You know, so you know, fucking. Whatever, man. I mean, there's no point in even trying to explain it to you. It's like two separate realities, you know. They're just two completely separate realities. So anyways, back on my tangent. Basically, the crossroad there for a hobo is, okay, do you want to believe in all these middle and upper class people lecturing you on how there's all this class mobility? Or crack open the Bible and look, and the Bible basically is saying that all those people are fucked, and it's the poor people that are blessed, and the poor people that are ones that are really struggling, and it's the poor people that are fucking oppressed, you know. And it's the poor people who will inherit the earth and all that other shit, you know. Again, it's easier for a rich man to enter through the eye of a needle or a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Man, it's like, unfortunately, I think that poor people are blessed, you know. Like, we're the ones. That saying the struggle is real. Yeah, the struggle's real for who? You ever been a fucking hobo? You ever spent 10 years eating shit out of dumpsters and getting fucking harassed by the cops once or twice a week? Just because you're too poor to rent an apartment or have a home? No, you haven't. And if you have, then you might know what I'm talking about. Or if you have, you may have ended up being brainwashed by this bullshit system that tells you that, you know, self-sufficiency, independence, class mobility. It's bullshit. So anyways, so all this going back to being doxxed and fucking and shut down by YouTube and all this stuff, you know. So, you know, I'm sure hobos are going to be doxxed by the government as, you know, whatever, some type of extremist or some type of, and then those same hobos, especially if they have views like mine, are probably going to end up being doxxed by Antifa as fucking, you know, far right people and shit. It's not, man. It's start standing up for the rights of hobos like Martin Luther King did with the Poor People's Campaign, and I might actually take your shit serious. That includes Black Lives Matter, feminism, Antifa, you know. None of you people I don't hear a peep out of any of you when it comes to the homeless of those of these you know, categories of people that you're claiming to be trying to protect or whatever. Like, don't you think that black people that are homeless are probably the most oppressed of black people? Well, when has Black Lives Matter ever done a march protesting black homelessness? Never. Or at least it's never on the news. It's never on any YouTube channel. Nobody's ever talking about it. I never hear shit about it. You know, you never see a march to the White House of 60,000 people all demanding justice for hobos. You don't see that. But then you'll see a bunch of these 60,000 middle class women marching to the White House to demand justice for all these oppressed middle class women. Like, fuck you. At that woman's thing, did any of the speakers, Madonna or any of those other fucking twats, mention anything about justice for homeless women? No, they didn't, not once. So go ahead and dox me, all you fucking, you know, because I'm that important, you know. You know, because I am. I'm a big thing, you know. I'm a big thing. So go ahead and dox me for being a far rightist or a far leftist, because you can't categorize me, man. You can't fucking put me in one of your fucking stupid boxes, man. And you can't with hobos. We're like a completely different race. And watch out, man, because we might actually be the motherfuckers that end up taking over all your dumbasses and being the ones that are most likely to survive the fucking shit that has been coming and looks like apparently could very likely continue to come. Natural disasters, fucking civil wars, all this shit, you know. all these preppers, man, you know, you don't think that being on the street for 10, 20 years is a form of prepping for the fucking shit hits the fan scenario, you know? So anyway, I mean, these are just some thoughts from a hobo. Here we speak the truth, the hobo truth, and nothing but the hobo truth.